Here we go. Here we go. All right. All right. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Get everything set up. We only got about an hour and a half. Let's see. All right. Come on in, family. Come on in. Let's get to work. Let's get to work. Yeah. Peace to the family, peace to my comrades, and as always, smoke to the COINTELPRO boxing fan. What? Let's pull out the book. Did Canelo, excuse me, family, gotta wake up. Did Canelo win those rounds, or are y'all tripping? That is the question. So this morning, we're gonna go over those rounds. All right, let me grab a little bit of libation real quick. Y'all know I was dehydrated yesterday. We're not gonna make that same mistake again today. All right, we got, grab all of that. Grabs the aloe vera juice. All that we need right here. All that we need. All right, let's see what we got. Okay. Go live. Let's get into it. Come on in, family. The water is warm. All right. I'm going to make sure that everybody's getting my notifications. Please like, subscribe, and share. I'm going to switch account real quick to make sure everything's good on my end. Did Canelo win these rounds, or are y'all tripping? So let's go to Netflix. I did not realize how much I was going to like this Netflix thing with boxing. But do you all remember we used to have to wait sometimes weeks for the full fight, a big fight like this to be uploaded? But hey, all we got to do is go back to Netflix, pull up the fight. Before I start, let a few more people get in. Round. Oh man, I love it. Netflix lets you know the round. We're gonna go to the first one you all said he won. Come on in, like, subscribe, share. So we wanted to back it up to about right. That's 10. I'll turn this down so we don't get copyright infringement. All right. So I'm gonna set this bad boy up so we can follow along. Starting off with the round that many of you said Canelo won. And we are going to go over these rounds. I'm gonna let that play real quick. All right, so I got my handy dandy judge book. Salute Jose Diaz in the house. Hope you're doing great as well, family. Before I get started and fired up, go ahead and take this to the head. So yesterday, we did a live. A lot of people joined. And the question was, what rounds did Canelo win? And people were blowing up the chat. It was almost a civil war in the chat. So this morning, like I promised, I said, you know what? We're going to have to go back to the drawing board. We're going to have to go back to these rounds. And the first round everyone was disagreeing on, that really fired the chat up, was a gentleman by the name of Arthur, I believe, came in. Hold on, family. Let's back that up a little bit. That's round 10. Love Netflix for doing this. What round is that? Well, no, I'm trying to get to the championship rounds. Hold on, fam. Did Canelo win those rounds? Let's see. That's round 10 at 54. So let's go to, that's 54, and that's round 11. That's round 10. Let's go 410, 411. I need to get to 413. There we go. All right. So Jose Diaz says, I only gave Canelo 1 round, maximum 2. I don't know if you were in the chat yesterday, but man, you had some people giving him 5 rounds, 4 rounds, 6 rounds. Patrice X, salute. The casuals are about to get a lesson. So it's 2 things going on, family. We got about a good hour, 30 minutes before my brother Drew comes on, but we're going to take him to school real quick. And for everyone that watches this back, I'm going to give you all a chance I'm going to give you the round, play-by-play. Now that the fight is not live, I can stop it if I need to. But let's get into it. So yesterday, I'm not going to say people's opinion was crazy, this and that, but this is what I'll say. Some people said they gave Canelo round 11, round 10, round 8, round 6, and everyone else said that they got 1 through 4 as a draw. All right. So if people are saying 1 through 4 is a draw, we're not going to even focus on that. But these 1, 2, 3, 4, these 4 rounds that I keep seeing that people are saying Canelo won, we're going to go over it. Now, yesterday, what did we talk about? We talked about the 10-point system. Okay. The 10-point system. What does that mean? So I'm not going to go deep into it. If you need to understand it more than the way I'm going to explain it, you can go and watch the video from yesterday. But these rounds, based off of what they're saying, Canelo has to get a 10. All right. So we're going to get right into it because it's 8:08. Come on in. Please like, subscribe, and share. I'm not putting subscribers mode only, so anyone can participate. But I already got some moderators in the chat. I got Jose Diaz. I got Patrice X, who are going to moderate the chat while we do this. But let's go to round 11. All right, let's start there. Round 11. All right. Now remember, if you all are giving Canelo this round, which I completely disagree, but if you're going to give him this round, he has to get a 10, a 10-9, a 10-8. It's not going to be a 10-7 or a 10-6 because what did we talk about yesterday? 10-7, 10-6, and sometimes 10-8, but 10-7, 10-6, there has to be a knockdown or a standing 8 count. All right, so this is round 11, starting off. Elliott Stadium, blah, 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 blah. All right, Canelo comes out, lands body shot on Crawford. Crawford lands a 3-punch combination up top. Canelo returns, 1 to the bottom, 1 up top. Crawford returns 2 body shots. Canelo returns 2 body shots, misses with overhand right. They both land 2 body shots to the body. Crawford lands 3 unanswered straight punches. Canelo comes in, locks up with Canelo, tries to go up under the elbow of Crawford. Canelo goes over the head of Bud. They clinch. They're in the clinch. Canelo tries to get one in before they go off. Crawford lands 2 body shots, 2 jabs, 2 lead jabs. Canelo lands 1 body shot. Crawford lands 3. Canelo lands 1 up top. Canelo tries to break the guard, misses. Tries to go to the body again of Crawford. Crawford returns with a 4-punch combination. Crawford again. Canelo lands 2 punches to the body. Crawford returns with a 3-punch combination. Crawford, jab, jab. Canelo down to the body. All right. Crawford's on his bicycle. He goes to the corner, lands a lead jab. Canelo comes over to overhand right. Crawford, pop, pop, 2 up top. Canelo walks him back to the middle of the ring. Here we go, here we go, here we go. All right. All right. Crawford lands a lead hook, wraps up with Canelo, puts him on the ropes. Ref breaks it up, they're back to the middle of the ring. All right. Crawford sizes him up. All right. Canelo has an uppercut, straight right on Crawford. All right. Crawford slips to the inside. Crawford slips to the outside. They're back to the middle of the ring. Crawford lands to the body, to the top. Canelo gets frustrated and actually walks off doing an L step. They're back to the middle of the ring. Crawford lands a lead jab. Canelo lands a jab of his own. They're back to the middle of the ring. Oh, man. Crawford lands a triple jab, stiff, straight to the body, unanswered. Still unanswered. Oh, my God. Crawford lands a 5-punch combination. Down to the body, up top. Canelo's back in the middle. Still unanswered, unanswered. There's only 50 seconds left. Unanswered punches. Unanswered punches. Crawford is now on the bicycle. 45 seconds. Unanswered punches. He lands a jab on Canelo. Canelo has landed nothing since that 5-punch combination. We're at 35 seconds. They're now in the corner. Unanswered, unanswered. Family, we're at 30 seconds. Canelo has landed nothing since that 5-punch combination. Crawford is backing up to the corner. Canelo tries to land a body shot. Crawford counters, lands a 3-punch combination up top to his own. Still unanswered. We have 15 seconds in the 11th round. Unanswered, unanswered. Crawford lands a jab to Canelo. Still unanswered. Family, it's only 10 seconds in this round. All right. Canelo tries to land 2 lead hooks. Crawford, all right, pause. All right, so at the very end, Canelo tries to land 2 lead hooks, which are blocked, and that's it. All right, family. That 11th round did not go to Canelo. All right, I just called it for you in real time. That is a 10-8 round for Crawford. All right, so we're just going to go ahead and get that myth out of here. Jose Diaz said there has to be a knockdown there. You're on point. Yeah, 10-7, 10-6, that would have had to be a knockdown round. A 10-8 just means that there is there's a definitive a winner, a very definitive winner. A 10-9 round would be you did just enough where the judges sit back and say, all right, you won that round. Barely, but you won that round. Now, let's say, based off of that, if you go off the first 35, 40 seconds of that, yes, you could have said that was you could have even said that was a 10-9 round for Canelo, those first 30, 45 seconds. But family, that whole round, that I'm sorry, y'all, that was not a round for Canelo. That was a round for Bud Crawford. So you all can go back and watch it play by play. I called it blow by blow. I called that round blow by blow. The 11th round, people, was not Canelo's round. I'm sorry. Canelo landed. The most shots he landed was in like the first minute. And then 2 minutes into that, he went to whooping that ass. Salute Joseph Townsend in the house. Now, we are, for those that just joining, we're going over the rounds. We just went over round 11. I knew that was going to be the round that's going to be easiest to call. That was the round one of the guys said yesterday that Canelo won, and everybody just started dragging him. So I wanted to call it blow by blow. I wanted to call it hit by hit so people can see, okay, I hear what coach is calling. He's calling out, he's calling it punch landed by punch landed, and not only that, who is controlling the round. 11 was a 10-8 round. Now, some said 10, so let's go to round 10. Let's go to round 10. All right. So this is the end of, I love that this fight is already on Netflix, loaded up. We don't have to wait for YouTube. We don't have to wait on an app. Well, Netflix is an app technically, so but we can go back to the whole fight. So this is the end of round 9. We're gonna call this 10 to see if Canelo won these rounds or if people are just tripping. Because yesterday I got 4 or 5 rounds people were saying were to Canelo, and like I say, and I stand on what I say. If you all are going to keep the sport of boxing going, if you all are going to appreciate the sport of boxing, we have to start calling things for what it is. You can't say Canelo got 5 rounds and then not tell me what rounds he won. So this is the rounds we got. People said 11-10, 8-6, and 1 through 4 was a draw. All right, fine. We just went over 11. That's BS. 11 was a 10-8 round for Crawford. And let's say you don't want to give him 10-8, that's at least a 10-9. All right, that's at least a 10-9. All right, so let's go to round 10. Round 10. Here we go. All right, here we go. Round 10. This is the one y'all said Canelo won. They're out to the middle of the ring. Crawford lands a jab. Canelo down to the body. Crawford, jab, jab. Canelo misses 1-2. Crawford, 3 jabs. Canelo is now stalking Crawford. Canelo stalking Crawford. Canelo lands a jab. Crawford is now stalking. Crawford stalking Canelo. Lands a 2 to the body from the southpaw stance. Canelo misses. Canelo is now stalking Crawford. Crawford lands a jab. Canelo lands a 1-2. Crawford spins and takes it back to the middle. Canelo misses with an overhand right. They're back in the middle. Crawford lands double jab. Back in the middle. They're stalking each other. Crawford lands a 4-punch combination. They're back in the middle. Crawford lands a jab. Canelo lands a lead hook. Canelo stalking Crawford. He tries to land an overhand right. Crawford blocks it. He tries to land a left. Oh, Crawford lands a nasty lead jab hook. They're back to the middle of the ring. Crawford up top, down to the body. Blocks Canelo's hook again. 1 minute 45 seconds left. Crawford lands a nice 1-2-3 on Canelo. Lands a nice straight to the body. Canelo is stalking Crawford again, but he's getting hit off of Crawford's back foot. All right, Canelo lands a nice lead hook. Here we go. 1 minute 30 seconds left. Crawford down to the body again. They tie up. Canelo landed a nice hook to the body. They're back to the middle. Crawford lands a 3-punch combination. Unanswered. We're at a minute left. Canelo's now stalking Crawford, but a 3-punch combination just went down and has been unanswered. Canelo is stalking Crawford again. He is in the ropes. All right. Canelo goes down to the body. Crawford spins and goes into the middle, lands a body shot of his own. It's only 50 seconds left. Right now, this will be a 10-9 round. Crawford jab to the head. Canelo has pushed Crawford's body up against the ropes. We only have 40 seconds left. Canelo is stalking Crawford again. Crawford lands a nice rear straight. Canelo has Crawford on the ropes. He's trying to dig in, but Crawford has good defense and is blocking those shots. It's only 25 seconds left. Crawford lands a 5-punch combination on Canelo at 23 seconds. Lands a straight rear punch up top. They go back to the middle. It's only 10 seconds left. Canelo is stalking. Unanswered. That's round 10. I'm sorry, family. You can't get that to Canelo. That's at least a 10-9 round in favor of Bud. Now, I'm calling them the way I'm calling them, so you all can go back and look for yourselves. They're even to about 56 seconds of round 10. All you got to do is watch at 56 seconds of round 10. From 56 seconds to the end of that round, Crawford tees off on Canelo Alvarez. He tees off on Canelo Alvarez. So this is what you all have to understand. And this is what I'm talking about. You have to qualify your statements because this is what they're trying to do right now. They're trying to ruin the event like it wasn't as great as it was. Like we didn't see a masterclass like we did. Like it was just so close, and it wasn't. Family, this isn't bias. We are gonna call this thing. For those of you that's just getting in, salute Dirt Game Boss in the house. All right, it's only 8:20, so we got time, family. We got time. Round 11, I got 10-8 to Crawford. And I'm calling them, y'all. I'm calling it blow by blow, so nobody can say, "Oh, he's just calling shit out of thin air." No, when you all tell me, I give Canelo 4 rounds, and you can't tell me what rounds. You can't tell me what you're giving him. You didn't actually sit down and do anything. All right, fine. I'll compromise with you. I understand that people do an eye test all the time. They do an eye test and they say, well, I gave him these rounds because of what I seen at the time. Yeah, but you might have been a little biased at the time. You might have had your emotions in at the time, just like all of us, because we're all going for our tribe. But 11-10 that you all said, that's BS. Canelo did not win those rounds. I give 11 a 10-8 to Bud. I give round 10 round 10. I give a 10-9 to Crawford. Now, everyone in the chat agreed yesterday, and we had about 200 people in the chat yesterday, right? 1 through 4, almost everyone said was a draw. So what does that leave? Round 11, 6, and 8. 11. No, I'm sorry. I don't know why I wrote that down twice. So that's actually only 6 and 8, family. All right. Now, these 2 rounds, I believe, are probably going to be a little bit more difficult. All right. So I'm going to do the best I can because 10 and 11 is clear. 1 through 4, you all said was a draw. So that leaves round 6 and 8. Okay. Now, I don't know which one of these people are giving to Canelo, but we're going to see. All right. So Clarissa said that Canelo won 3 rounds at most. Okay. Clarissa, tell me what rounds you're giving him, because it can't be 11 and it damn sure can't be 10. 1 through 4, people are saying was a draw per the poll we did yesterday. What rounds are you giving to Canelo? Because 2 of them, we're going to go over 6 and 8 right now. Let me know what rounds you got while I put it on round 8. That's round. All right, that's round 8 right there. Round 8, round 7. Go to round 7. All right. Clarissa, I can't remember off the head, but I do remember giving him the first round. Okay, so rounds 1 through 4, I'm not going to go back over because 1 through 4, all fans that were in the chat yesterday agreed that those rounds were filling out rounds for Canelo and Bud, and were pretty much even 1 through 4. The rounds I wanted to focus on were the rounds that people were really arguing about, which were round 6, round 8, round 10, and 11. All right, those are the rounds people were saying were Canelo. Now, we know, anyone that knows the sport of boxing, you all know that round 11 went to Bud. Easy. I just went over round 10, 10-9. I give Canelo a 10-9. Not only do I give it to him, if you all are just coming in, watch my live back. You will see that I'm doing blow by blow, and I'm telling you at what second Canelo loses the round. In round 10 at 56 seconds, down to the rest of the round. Before 56 seconds, Canelo and Bud are even. At 56 seconds to 0 in round 10, Canelo loses because he cannot return the type of fire Crawford is landing. Crawford lands I believe it was either a 4-punch or 5-punch combination on Canelo that goes unanswered for the rest of the round. Otis Rich said Canelo didn't win no rounds. They tripping. All right. So Otis, we went over 11 and 10. We're gonna go over 8 right now that people said Canelo won. So, fam, we're going into round 8. Round 8. They're back in the middle of the ring, feeling each other out. Crawford lands a jab. They're feeling each other out. Back in the middle. Oh my God! Crawford lands a 4-punch combination. Back in the middle of the ring, Canelo lands a rear right. Crawford takes a well, returns with 2 jabs on top. Canelo lands a body shot. Crawford spins it back to the middle. Canelo lands a lead hook. Crawford answers back with a 3-punch combination. Jab to Canelo's head. Canelo lands a right. Right now, it will be a 10-9 round. Crawford with a nice jab. Canelo stalks Crawford, lands a 2-punch combination down to the body of Crawford. We're at 2 minutes. Crawford slips that punch. Canelo lands 2 body shots down to Crawford. Crawford jab. We're at 1 minute and 55 seconds. Canelo is stalking Crawford. Crawford down to the body, up to the head. Unanswered. Canelo tries to land a body shot. Crawford blocks it. He's stalking Crawford again. Unanswered. Crawford lands a jab and a rear straight. Spins around. It's going unanswered. 1 minute and 30 seconds. Crawford double jab to Canelo's head. 1 minute 30 seconds. Unanswered. Canelo stalking Crawford. Unanswered. Canelo tries to land a nice 4-punch combination. Crawford blocks it, then spins back to the middle of the ring. They're back in the middle. Canelo is stalking Crawford. He's stalking Crawford, but he's not. Everything's still been unanswered. So at about 1 minute and 40 seconds, y'all, unanswered. Crawford lands 3 jabs. Unanswered. Family, this is round 8. We're at 1 minute and 5 seconds. Canelo is losing this round now. Crawford, jab. Unanswered. Canelo lands a right. All right. Crawford lands 3 jabs. Crawford lands a 3-punch combination. Canelo returns with a 2-punch combination. Some of it lands. Canelo with a jab, rear hand. We're at 45 seconds. We're at 40 seconds. Canelo is stalking Crawford. Crawford lands with a jab. Off the back foot. Canelo is stalking Crawford. Canelo tries to hit Crawford with a jab. Misses. They are clinched. Canelo lands 2 inside. Crawford lands 1 inside. We're at 20 seconds. Canelo stalking Crawford. We're at 10 seconds, y'all. 10 seconds of round 8. 8 seconds. Crawford lands a jab. Canelo is stalking Crawford. Unanswered. All right. That's round 8. All right, listen, family. That was round 8. Now, I want you all to know, family, I'm not being biased. I'm calling this blow by blow for you all. All right. Salute the Queen Tay Tay in the house. Now, this is why I'm calling it like this, because I want you all to be able to go into the fight and see what I'm talking about right here. Okay. If you go to round 8, because it damn sure ain't 11, damn sure ain't 10. We're at round 8. All right. In round 8, at about 1 minute and 50 seconds to about the 45-second mark, Crawford has hit Canelo with an offensive attack that Canelo has a very hard time returning fire. Canelo does not do anything significant to about 30 seconds of round 8 again. You all can go back and look at that yourself. Here's the issue. Those of you who are casuals, who are doing the eye test, and you say, well, I just give him the round because of what I seen. Listen, there are rules in the sport of boxing. The 10-point system is real. We talked about the 10-point system yesterday, right, family? Now, based off of what I just called to you all, before I even say what I would give it, based off of what you all just heard me say, blow by blow and what was happening, what would you all give that round? Would you all give it a 10-10? 10-9, 10-8. It ain't no 10-7 and 10-6. So would you all give that a 10-8, 10-9, or 10-10 round for Bud or for Canelo? Patrice X, salute, family. Not even the casual. All three judges gave Canelo round 8. Now, I'm going to tell you all, that's BS. Those judges were on BS that day. All right? Because there's no way. I'm not even going to say it. You all tell me, what would you all give round 8 based off of the way I just called it? Let me see. It's only 8:30. I got about an hour, and we only got one more round. So, yeah. All right. So Jose Diaz gives him a 10-9. Okay, 10-9 for who? 10-9 for Canelo or 10-9 for Bud? 10-9 for Canelo or 10-9 for Bud? Round 8. Patrice S said 10-9 Crawford. Pull up the judges' official scorecards. It's crazy. Jose Diaz says Crawford 10-9. Now, family, I'm telling you, hey man, I would give 10-9 to Bud. I don't know what the hell that the judges were doing, but let's do this. Let's do this right here, because I got to call them out in their BS real quick. All right, I got to. Round 8. So we're gonna go back to this because we're not gonna do that. We're not gonna just skate past this. What round is this? Let me see. That's round 7, right? Dude, they're making it real hard for me to speed this bad boy up. That's the only thing. Nope, that's round 10. Come on, y'all. I'm just trying to get to round 8. Damn. All right, you can't speed it up. Here we go. I'm gonna stop. Go back. All right, hold on, fam. I gotta take this off because if I don't. All right, so based off of round 8, I can't give Canelo that round, y'all. I'm sorry. Round 11, round 10, round 8. So far, I'm giving it all to Bud. Round 11, 10-8. Round 10, 10-9. Round 8, 10-9. All in favor of Bud. So I don't know what some of y'all are looking at. I don't know what the judges are looking at. You can't just make up shit. You can't just say, I give it to him because he's aggressive. I'm going to tell you what's going on. The crap that they were doing, the judges, are the same thing they do in the amateurs. An amateur fighter can be outboxing the other one, but because the other fighter just looks more aggressive, they'll give it to that fighter, and that's BS. See, this is what they do. What do we know? We know that the sport of boxing, when you're talking about a professional round, is clean punching, effective aggressiveness, ring generalship, and defense. But a lot of these judges, man, especially these old judges, they try to take effective aggressiveness and supersede everything else that's going on. In round 8, all y'all got to do is mark the time, and this is what I realized. When Crawford lands anything more than a 2-punch combination on Canelo in the whole fight, Canelo goes unanswered for almost a minute. There's no way you're winning a round if for almost a minute you're not landing anything after you've been hit with a 3-punch, 4-punch, 5-punch combination. There's no way in hell. But let's move on. And this is the last round, y'all. This is really the last round that people were saying he won. So I went over 11, which that went to Bud. I went over 10. That went to Bud. All right. Barely, but it went to Bud. I went over 8, 10-9, Bud Crawford. 1 through 4, you all said was even. So this is the last round. People were saying. And since we have time, because I seen someone put round 3 as well, we're going to go over round 6 and round 3. So listen, when you all hear me saying unanswered and I call the time, That gives you an opportunity where you can go back to the fight yourself and you can go to the exact time I'm talking about. And when I'm saying unanswered, 30 seconds, unanswered 60 seconds, that is, I'm telling you that the other fighter has been hit with a combination and it's unanswered. You can't win a round if you get hit with those kind of combinations and you don't return anything. And then when you do return something, you're returning a one hook, you're returning a jab. Canelo got robbed. All right, so I'm gonna ask you this. If Canelo got robbed, what rounds was he robbed of? We can't say things like that and then not back up what we're saying. I need you all to back up what you're saying so we can look at it and have a scientific, mathematical boxing view of what you're saying. Now, if you're just being biased and you're just being an agent of chaos, we don't need you in the sport. But if you do believe that Canelo was robbed, please tell me. Now, if you're just getting in, you will see that 11, 10, and 8, he definitely wasn't robbed of because he did not win those rounds. And I've gone over second by second, blow by blow. So we got 2 more rounds to look at, y'all. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going over the 5 rounds that people are saying Canelo won, and I'm showing you that's not true. And when we go over round 6 and 3, Max Kellerman and Andre Ward was gaslighted all yellow. Hey family, get this guy out of here. Get this guy out of here. Send him to the rim. 3 and 6. Okay, 3 and 6. We're gonna talk about that. Thank you, Patrice X. Hey y'all, we're in here talking boxing and building. When these punk ass trolls come in here and they're not trying to add anything, man, get their asses out of here. Seriously, these are the people who want to run and watch Jake Paul and Mike Tyson and then not support the fight the boxing anymore. These are the kind of people that want to go chase exhibitions and not really support real boxing anymore. When their favorite fighter doesn't win, when these race fighters doesn't win, they come in and they become agents of chaos. Clarissa, I thought Bud was about to drop Canelo in the late rounds. He looked like he was ready to go. Round 12, he was about to stop Canelo on his feet. Round 11, he hit Canelo with a jab, and I believe that Canelo hurt his knee. In round 11, he does an L step, and he looks away from Canelo and shakes his head like that. I think that knee was messing with him. But I do believe 30 more seconds in round 12, he would have stopped Canelo. And here's the thing, family. Like I always say, watch this. We're going to do round 6 now. But if somebody hits you with a combination like that and it goes unanswered for that long, you're begging to be stopped. Canelo has to plant his feet to take off. That's the problem. All right, so we're going to back this up to round. All right, that's the end of round 5. Let's start there. All right. So yeah, we're gonna do 6. We're gonna do 6-3. That's all we got left, right? 6-3. So we went over round 11, round 10, round 8. We're gonna do round 6, round 3 now. Okay. What the heck is going on? Oh, that's why. Okay. All right, normal round 5. All right, let's speed this up just a little bit. Come on, y'all, help me out. Now, after round 5, I want you all to go back and look at something. Come on, y'all, help me out. Help a brother out. I'm trying to get to round 6. There we go. Hold on, fam. I'm sorry. I'm trying to fast forward on this phone. So that's what, 353. I went too far ahead. Oh, we're doing round 6. Man, y'all are killing me. After round 5, that's when they put the camera on Wilder and everybody got quiet. Legendary. Legendary. Here we go. I don't know why it's not trying to let me go to round 6. All right. So Clarissa says Bud never got hurt or woozy. He did not. Not that we know of. All right. Round 5. All right. I'm going to let that play out because Netflix is acting weird. But we're going to do round 6 next. All right. And the reason why I'm doing this is I just want to dispel all of the crap that's going on because there are people that are trying to just crap on something that was an amazing event for boxing, and they're trying to find any way to shit on boxing. And sometimes when we're beefing with each other, we don't see the motive behind what they're doing. There are people who want exhibitions to take over the sport of boxing. There are people who want to turn boxing into like an NFL type of thing or a UFC type of thing. So what they do is when we do have huge events, they try to shit on them. They try to say, well, there's always some type of corruption. There's always some cheating. There's always, I told a guy yesterday, man, get your ass out the sport. If you're going to accuse every fighter of steroids and you were saying nothing about steroids before the fight, and you can't just enjoy that we just had not only did we have a great fight, look at the card. We had a war between Billy and Martinez. And people got to see that. So now this morning I got up and I saw them talking about, well, they only did 41 million views. Jake Paul and Mike Tyson did 108 million views. All right, man. So what? So what? The difference is a lot of those people that watch the sport of boxing, those are real fans who were supporting this event, and they're going to keep supporting boxing events. After Jake Paul and Mike Tyson, all of those fans, those 108 million viewers, did they keep watching the sport of boxing? Hell no. Patrice X says Nello got hit with a big straight left in the last 5 seconds that had him woozy. Bud never got hurt. Clarissa, I gave Canelo 1 round, but I say 3 at most because I knew the judges would be shady. All right, so I'm trying to go over every round, family. If you all put a round in here before I get off, I'm going to go over the round. I'm calling the round blow by blow. Look at Deontay Wilder after round 5. Everybody got quiet. All right. So I'm at round 6. We're going to do 6 and 3. Most people said 1 through 4 was a draw. We only got 2 more rounds. Now, so far, family, 8, 10, and 11 went to Bud. So I don't know what the judges are talking about. I don't know what everybody else is talking about. You all can go watch those rounds yourself. Those were not Canelo's rounds. You all have to remember, when you all say that Canelo won a round, that means that Canelo had to get 10 to something to win a round. To win a round, the fighter has to get a 10 based off the 10-point system. Now, a 10-9 means you did just enough to take the round. A 10-8 means you decisively beat the other person. Ain't no way in hell Canelo got a 10-9 or a 10-8 in round 11, 10, or 8. Let's go to 6. Here we go. They're in the middle of the ring, feeling each other out. Bud, Canelo. Oh, man. Crawford starts the... All right, so look. Crawford starts off round 6 with a rear straight with a 2-1-2. All right. He lands a 2-1-2 from the southpaw stance. Canelo covers up. All right. This is the round y'all said Canelo won. Covers up. Unanswered. Canelo, Bud lands a 3-punch combination to the head. Lands a body shot. Unanswered. Canelo, unanswered. Canelo lands a body shot. Oh, my God. Crawford hit Canelo with a nasty rear straight. Unanswered. Canelo has no answer. We're at 2 minutes, 20 seconds. Unanswered. Canelo tries to land a body shot. Crawford ducks it, wraps Canelo up, and spins him, showing that I'm the stronger man. They're back in the middle of the ring. Back in the middle. Unanswered. Crawford lands a jab. Unanswered. We're at 2 minutes. Unanswered. Crawford goes out to the body. Canelo tries to land a lead hook. It is blocked by Crawford's lead hand. They're back in the middle of the ring, unanswered. Crawford slips to the outside. We're at 1 minute 50 seconds, unanswered. We're at 1 minute 45 seconds. Canelo misses. Tries to go to the body again. They're back in the middle of the ring. Canelo is stalking Crawford. Crawford lands a rear straight again. Unanswered. Oh, Crawford misses. Now, I got to say this, family. In round 6, at 1 minute and 30 seconds, Canelo throws the same punch that he threw at Floyd when Floyd looked and showboated when Floyd went against Canelo. And Crawford, they're literally in the same exact spot. I thought that was cool. 1 minute and 31 seconds. Unanswered. Crawford down to the body, up to the head. Canelo, unanswered. Canelo lands a body shot. Crawford says low blow. Ref says you lean back. We're at 1 minute 15 seconds. They're in the middle of the ring. Nobody has thrown yet. We are at a minute. Here we go. They're sizing each other up to throw again. Here it comes. Nobody lands anything. We're at 55 seconds, family. Crawford is hitting the front of Canelo's gloves. He lands a jab. Unanswered. 45 seconds. Canelo lands a rear 2. Here we go. Canelo misses with the hook. Crawford lands a 2-punch combination. He throws 4. We're at 30 seconds. Crawford goes down to the body of Canelo. Canelo goes down to the body of Crawford. We're at 25 seconds. Crawford lands a 3-punch combination. 1 to the head, 2 to the body. We're at 15 seconds, family. Unanswered. Canelo misses. Unanswered. 10 seconds. Unanswered. We are at 5 seconds. Unanswered. 3, 2, 1. Family, what the hell are we talking about here? That is a 10-8 round, Crawford. How are you all, family? Come on, y'all. We got to do better than this. How are you all saying 6 went to Canelo? That was a 10-8 round for Crawford. Easy. I just called it blow by blow. 10-8 just means that there was a decisive winner, y'all. That is a 10-8 round. Hey, I'll compromise with you. Let's say you all want to count when Canelo did exchange. All right. Let's say you all want to count when he did exchange. That's still a 10-9 round for Bud. There's no way in hell that Canelo won 6, 8, 10, or 11. That's 4 rounds that I've already dispelled, blow by blow, second by second. When you all hear me saying unanswered for 20 seconds, unanswered 30 seconds, family, that's a 10-8 round. You are decisively being beat. You all cannot keep saying that, man. I'm sorry. So we only got one more round to go over. I'm going to go over round 3 because these are the rounds you all gave me. 11, 10, 8, 6, all were for Bud. So I don't know what round you all are giving to Canelo, but I'm going to go over round 3. If you all are going to give Canelo one, it got to be, I might have to go into 1 and 4 at another time, but this is the last round I'm going to do. But you all told me yesterday that 1 through 4 was pretty even. So if that is the case, we all have to say to each other, what the hell were the judges saying? Because none of these rounds is a 10 for Canelo. That's BS, y'all. That's BS. I'm sorry. I think one of those judges called it 114, 113 or 115, 114. How, Sway? How? Now I'm going to show you all that's BS. And this I'm going to show you. And I want to say this before I go around 3 because I know I'll lose my thought. For those of you who were with Coach when I called Mbili versus Martinez, when I did Mbili versus Martinez, I told you, I said, now, If the judges can call M. Billy versus Martinez fairly, and I said this is going to be a draw before they called it. What did I tell you all? I said, now, if they call Martinez correctly like this, and we get Canelo Crawford, and it's some damn 114, 113, 112, 111, somebody got paid off. Somebody purposely was being biased or got paid off. And you can't tell me different, because Patrice X was here with me. Patrice X, when we were watching M. Billy Martinez, and I was calling those rounds round by round, before the judges, before they called the winner, did I or did I not tell the family that this fight was going to be a draw or it was going to go to Martinez? Patrice X was here with me, and I said that if they called this fairly the way they did, and then they called Vargas versus Walsh the way they did, I said, man, if they don't call this right, Canelo versus Bud, one of these judges is on BS. And it's that same judge whose ass should have been reprimanded before with that BS card that they called when it was Canelo versus was it Canelo and Floyd? Anyway, you all get what I'm saying. Let's go to round 3. Now, for those of you that are just coming in, if you want, Patrice X said, correct, you tried letting M. Billy know what was about to happen if he didn't change. See, Patrice X bears witness to what happened. Now, check this out, family. 11, 10, 8, 6. None of those went to Canelo. 10, Canelo did not get a 10 in any of those. And if you all are saying Canelo, excuse me, family. Now check it. If you all are trying to tell Coach, salute on commentary with St. Louis in the house. Salute to you, family. Now check this out, family. If anyone is saying that Canelo won a round, now y'all not gonna like this part. If you say that Canelo won 6 or 8, there's no way that it's a 10-9. You would have to call it a 10-10. You would have to call it a draw. There's too much space in these rounds where Canelo is unanswering the question. He's unanswering the problem. So this is what I mean. When you're teaching a child math, let's say you're teaching them math and you say, what's 3 plus 3? And you keep asking, what's 3 plus 3? What's 3 plus 3? And the child is like, you're not ready. You need to study some more. So in these rounds that I'm calling, when I'm telling you and I'm saying unanswered for 20, 30 seconds, that's at least a 10-9 round. And I'm being generous to you because the only way it can be a 10-9 round is when Canelo does exchange with Crawford. All right, when he does exchange with Crawford, he does just enough in that small amount of time for it to even out to a 10-9. But it damn sure ain't no 10-10. It's not a draw. And judges are told, we really don't want you all. When any of you who are part of the USA Boxing program, any of the part of the commissions, when you go to get your certification as a judge, they tell you, because I'm going through the judging certification. I actually went through one. I went through a judging workshop on accident. I thought it was when I was first trying to get my silver certification as a silver level coach. You got 3. You got bronze, you got silver, and you got gold or green. I forget the colors. But basically, it was for coaches and it was for judges. I already was there. So while I was there, what I learned is they really don't want us putting 10-10s on the card because it makes it very hard at the end to judge it. Martinez versus Billy had some 10-10s. Joseph Bailey said, salute, coach. Bud beat Canelo 10-2, 9-3, 11-1. Thank you, family. So Joseph Bailey says Bud beat Canelo 10-2, 9-3, 11-1. Now, for those that are just coming in, we've gone over round 11, 10, 8, 6. These are the rounds people are saying Canelo won. I've gone over it blow by blow, second by second. I've even gone to let you all know when the offensive attack of Bud Crawford has been unanswered. So we only got one more round, y'all, because yesterday everybody said, let's see how much time I got. All right, I got about 35 minutes before the brother Drew comes on. So everyone yesterday said 1 through 4 was a draw. Now I'm going to tell you all, I'm about to go over 3. But if 3 looks like how the rest of these rounds have been looking like that we've gone over, you are going to have to go back and look at 1 through 4. Because there's no way. What did Aretha Franklin say? Ain't no way. All right, let's see. All right, that's round 2. Let's get to round. We're in the corner there. All right, here we go. Oh, yeah, perfect. All right, so I'm right before round 3. Eddie Reynoso. Oh, we don't have to go through 1 through 4 because you all told me that. Salute D-Man Jr. in the house. All right, so look, we're at round 3. So most people said that 1 and 2 were both filling out phases for Canelo and Bud. Nobody's giving Canelo round 4. I haven't seen anybody say Canelo won round 4. So family, this is it. If we're going to see. But if this round doesn't go to Canelo, I have almost a complete wash. And then I'm going to qualify what I say. And I'm going off the 10-point system, not the eye test. Not this. I'm going off the 10-point system based off of the 4 criteria of the round. Okay? So let's get into it. This is the last one, y'all. I know a lot of people are just now coming in. So let me catch you all up. Coach has gone over every round that people are saying Canelo won. I've gone over round 11, 10, 8, 6, and now it's 3. Not only have I gone over every round to call the cap out, I've gone over by second the timestamp where Canelo gets hit with these offensive attacks and it goes unanswered. This is the pattern that I've seen as a coach. When Canelo gets frustrated and Eddie Reynoso gets frustrated, they go a long period of time with unanswered, uncommentary with St. Louis. They said yesterday, and I didn't want anybody to drag them. I said, hey, y'all, don't drag them. We're going to go over it today. Yesterday, somebody came in the chat and said they gave 11 to Canelo. So that's the first round I went over. That was a 10-8 round for Bud. Bud whooped Canelo's ass in that round. And the only reason why it's not a 10-7 is because he didn't drop him. But if he would have just got a standing 8 count in 11, which he almost did, which really the ref was, I don't know, I'm surprised the ref let that go because when he got hit with that punch and Canelo put his body towards the crowd and shook his head like that, some refs would have did a standing 8 count. But fine. He let the action keep going. That's still a 10-8 easy. That's a 10-8 easy. So some people don't know the 10-point system. They don't know how to really judge or call a real fight. Family, a lot of you, I'm going to tell you what the problem is. A lot of you call fights just off of effective aggressiveness and the brawling that you see. That's a no-go, family. That's a no-go. I can't give you all that. And as boxing fans, we have to do a better job of knowing our sport. Why, Coach? Why do you say that? Because every other sport know what the hell they're talking about. Someone who is a supporter of the NFL, if I go talk to them, they're going to tell me everything about the sport. They're going to tell me the rules. They're going to tell me, well, you know, the official called this because of this reason. In boxing is one of the only sports where we hear people say something and it's like, well, Okay, are you just saying that just cuz? So let me get into round 3. I know that's what y'all want. Let's go to round 3. This is the last damn round that you all said he won. So, so this round didn't go to Canelo. It was a complete wash. That's what I'm saying. I know some people are not going to like that, but guess what? The great thing about it is all you got to do is go in and the timestamps that I've named prove me wrong in what I said. Let's go to round 3. Eddie Reynoso is giving Canelo. This is the last time that Eddie Reynoso actually gives Canelo real instruction. He's telling this now. Let me tell you what Eddie's telling Canelo. Eddie is telling Canelo to stay in the high guard, slip, and go down to the body of Bud Crawford, which has not been working so far. But let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. Round 3. All right. All right, here we go. Round 3. Stephanie McMahon, Paul, Triple H. Here we go. They're in the middle of the ring. Here we go, y'all. Blow by blow. Here we go. Feeling each other out. Here we go. Bud lands a jab. Unanswered. Canelo tries to land an overhand right, misses. Bud with the jab to the head again. Bud jabs the lead hand of Canelo. Canelo does an L step. Canelo lands a jab. Crawford lands to the body. They're even. Canelo lands a body shot. Crawford lands a 1-2 up top. He lands a 1-2 again up top. Jab from Bud to Canelo. Hits him again with a jab to Canelo. Canelo head rocks back. Canelo is unanswered. He tries to land a body shot and misses. Unanswered. Canelo with a nice jab to Crawford. Unanswered. All right. Crawford is unanswered. Crawford hasn't done anything. He has unanswered Canelo. Crawford tries to land looks like a looping rear hand, but Canelo blocks it. Canelo tries to land his own overhand right, and it misses. Canelo is up right now. In this round. Canelo lands a lead hook to Crawford. We're at 1 minute and 35 seconds. Canelo is winning round 3 right now. Canelo hits Crawford with a body shot. Canelo is winning the round right now. We're at 1 minute and 28 seconds. Unanswered. Crawford has not answered yet. We're at a minute. He's touching the lead hand of Canelo, but he has not hit Canelo with anything sufficient. Canelo is stalking Crawford now. This is effective aggressiveness. Canelo tries to land an overhand right and misses. They're back to the middle of the ring. Crawford has not answered. He tries to jab. Canelo stays in the high guard. Oh, Canelo with a double jab right hand and lands. Canelo is winning this round. Unanswered. Crawford is not answering. In round 3. Crawford is not answering yet. It's 40 seconds. He lands a body shot to Canelo. Canelo lands a body shot. Crawford responds with a 1-2. Canelo's still up. This would be a 10-9 round right now for Canelo. Canelo lands a nice body, a 1 up top that he misses, but then lands the 2 to the body. Here we go, y'all. Listen, we're at 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Rest. All right, here we go. All right. I'm sorry I said rest, y'all. Oh, man, that's crazy. The reason why I said rest is I used to always say it to my fighters in the gym after a round. Rest. All right. So that's time. That's crazy. Whew. All right. Round 3. All right, family. So Canelo Alvarez did win round 3. He did win round 3. All right. So based off of what people voted on yesterday and based off of what I went over, Canelo won one of the rounds that the people said he won. Now, some people were just throwing rounds out there, but I want to give a shout out to, I can't remember who it was, but someone did come in the chat earlier and said, I gave 1 round to Canelo, and I'm pretty sure that round was round 3. Canelo, and I called it like that because I wanted you all to see that I'm not calling it bias. When Canelo hit Crawford in round 3 on a few offensive attacks, and Crawford unanswered him, I kept saying unanswered, no answer on behalf of Bud Crawford. So I'll submit out of round 3, 6, 8, 10, and 11, I give 1 round to Canelo. Canelo won round 3, 10-9. 10-9. It almost would have been a 10-8. At the 42nd mark, if Crawford wouldn't have done anything sufficient, it would have been a 10-8 round. But Crawford hit Canelo with a nice, mean 1-2 in the last 40 seconds, which would have made it a 10-9 round. Okay? But it would have been a 10-9 round in favor of Canelo. All right. So, family, look, if you do a video of your own, if you come into the comments and are, upset about what Coach said, all you got to do is give me the round and give me the time mark where the other fighter unanswers an offensive attack. If you're not going to do that, you're just yapping. If you're not going to do that, you're just running your damn mouth. You're just talking shit. The reason why I did that, family, is because I want all people who support the sport to know what they're looking at, to know when they're being played, to know when there is corruption. How do I know one of these judges is full of shit and was probably paid off? Is because these same judges, based off my scoring card, that's why I always keep my scoring cards. Based off of my scoring card. Matter of fact, family, let me see if I have let me see. Based off of my scoring card, what I saw was that all of the rounds that the judges had called for Vargas versus Walsh. Vargas versus Walsh, Martinez versus Mbili, they called right. They did. Round by round, they called it right. Vargas versus Walsh. All of those rounds, probably. The only one they might have gave to Walsh to Vargas was the last round when he started fighting how he should have been fighting from the beginning. But I think Vargas I don't know. I think he's in his head and he doesn't want to get hit, And I think he thought that he could steal those last 2 rounds and win, which you can. Now, for those that don't understand the 10-point system, you all have to realize that boxing is a sport with rules, and the same way you can steal yards in football, the same way you can steal time in basketball, you can steal. It's called stealing time or stealing a round in boxing. There's 2 ways to steal a round. One way is, let's say you're tired and you get on the bicycle for 2 minutes and 30 seconds. But then the last 30 seconds of the 3-minute round, you hit him with a Sugar Ray Leonard shoe shine combination. Right? That's the last thing the judges see. So the judges say, oh my God, they don't remember the 2 minutes and 30 seconds you weren't doing anything. They remember that last 30 seconds you just hit that person, or it looks like, even if the punches didn't get through, it looks like they're getting through. Anyway, that's more science. All right. But as boxing supporters, man, we have to know what we're talking about. All right. Now, for those of you who are going to come into my comments and be like, oh, you don't know, you're just a casual, let me tell you, if you don't have one of these, a red one or a white one, you can shut the hell up talking to me. You can't tell me nothing. If you ain't got one of these, You can't tell me, because you have not gone through in the field training. You just on YouTube talking. See, sometimes you gotta pull out your credentials so they know who they're dealing with. All right. If you weren't a coach or a judge, you and I probably can't even relate to what we're talking about. Okay. And this is not to down talk anybody, because I don't mind teaching. The problem is social media has become a safe place for the ignorant. Social media has become a place where everybody's a expert in everything, but they're a master in nothing. They're a master in nothing. You know, and listen, Patrice X said, you see Ward give Bud heads up ringside that he was down heading into round 9, Ward on Cole. Let me tell you, if you all go watch the press conference, not the press conference, but right after the fight, before everything was leading up, Ward was so sick of Max Kellerman and what's it, John, the other guy from the UFC. Now, I pull this out to show you all, to show the people that tune in. This channel is not a channel for us to disrespect each other, for us to debate. Yes, I am a black man. Yes, I root for my tribe, just like Mexicans root for theirs, just like the yellow, the brown, the white root for theirs. There's no problem with that. But this is still a science. All right. This is a science that I love. You know, I no longer run my own gym, you know, but I do love it. Facts. Jose Diaz said, just like I'm going to root for my Cubans. All right. And listen, family, I love my tribe, but I'm not ignorant to the point where I can't hear a teacher. One of the greatest, I took one of my fighters, Aaron Palafox. When I go on the panels, my picture that you all see, that's my fighter. Okay, that's the young man that I trained from scratch that couldn't box for nothing, and he's Mexican. All right. The first time I took him to the gym, I took him to a hood gym, and he was a little nervous. He was a little scared to do what I know he knows how to do. And I had to talk to him in a way where he knows where he comes from. I had to talk to him in a way to talk to the blood that is in him, the lineage that he comes from. I had to snatch him up and tell him, because his father and I had a conversation. See, he's a first generation American Mexican, but his father actually came from Mexico. And one day, his father came to my gym, and he was the only parent. And let me talk to us for a second. He was one of the only parents at that time, because I had a brother that used to help me later on in my second gym. But my first gym, Aaron's father, who is a Mexican man, was the only parent that would say, Coach, what you need? Coach, you taking this wall down in the gym? I'm gonna come help you. Coach, you need help with these tiles in the roof? I'm gonna come help you, because you helping my son and you're taking time with him to cultivate his skill. And he said, I know you're not charging me what you should be charging me. This man, I could call on his father right now and he would help me. And one day he came to the gym and his father was telling me how his journey from Mexico to the US, his trials and tribulations that they have to go through when you go through the right status, and all of the fees he has to pay a year and still gets taxed. So I said, all right. So we're at this gym, And I can tell Aaron has some fear in his heart, and he's fighting like it. I snatched Aaron up and I said, remember who you are. Understand your Mexican warrior blood. Understand that you ain't no coward. Understand who you are. I don't give a damn that you going against these guys. They talking shit to you, you bust them in the mouth. Do not let them get in your head. Do not let anybody punk you. I don't care who they are. If they white, black, brown, or yellow, don't let them people punk you. Make a long story short, Aaron, in his second year of boxing, a fighter that started boxing at 14, the next year he was a silver glove champion. The end of that year, he was fighting at nationals. And for those of you that don't understand what that means, you have to win a certain amount of fights and perform in certain bouts to be able to perform at nationals. The nationals that Shakur and I think Bud has showed up at 2 years ago, Aaron was fighting. I say that to say this. You have to be humble enough to learn, family. And let me tell you, my Black American fighters, I train them like the Eddie Futch way. But do you know who gave me a huge, I'm going to tell you what gave me two advantages as a coach. The first advantage was my training in the Army. I know how to take somebody from scratch and prepare them for war. For those of you that don't know, I was an airborne infantry chemical soldier. I had 2 jobs during my 10 years. I'm not going to go deep into it, but that's some of the best training. Anyone that's going through the Ranger program, airborne school, air assault school, the best warrior competitions is some of the best training you can get. But the second advantage is I was humble enough to listen to a Cuban boxing coach. The Cuban boxing coach taught me. He says, you know, the reason why we beat you all in the Olympics, you know the reason why we give you all such a hard time when we do go pro? He taught me one of the secrets. I'm not going to repeat it because it's not my secret to repeat. But I was humble enough to listen to him. Some people in these spaces, they're not humble enough to listen. They're not humble enough to hear. And right now, they're trying to crap on one of our best events that we've had in the last 10 years. That war that we saw between M. Billy and Martinez, and then that magnificent fight between Bud and Canelo. Now I see people saying, they're saying, oh, well, you know, M. Billy and Martinez was the real fight. Bud and Canelo bored me. People like that, y'all, we got to get them up out of here. We have to push them at the sport. And it doesn't have to be a hate thing. But, you know, some of us have cousins that they got a limited time where you got to go ahead and get them away from you. See, you got to love them from a distance. And I ain't saying we got to love these folks, but we do got to get them about the sport. These people are agents of chaos that want to destroy the sport. They hate the fact that Mexicans and blacks were standing up in that arena cheering, not so much for their men, for the sweet signs that they just witnessed, for the gladiator warriorship that we just saw between 2 of our best in the sport of boxing. In that moment and at that time, nobody was thinking about, you Mexican, I can't rock with you. You black, I can't rock with you. Everybody that was in that arena just saw two of the best put on a show, and there are people that hate that. They rather see clown shows. They rather see Jake Paul and Tank. And that's fine, because if Jake Paul and Tank would have came to Atlanta, I would have went. But I wouldn't have went and then kicked boxing, real boxing, to the side. Now, if you all thought that was something, I will be calling the Devin Haney-Norman Jr. card, because I have a feeling that David Benavidez versus Yard, whoo-wee, family, I think that's going to look a lot like Billy versus Martinez. Them brothers are going to fight. And Devin Haney-Norman Jr., we're going to see that sweet science. We are. But family, I just wanted to go through those rounds to show sometimes, man, we gotta make sure that when we say something, we don't look like idiots to everybody else in the sport arenas. Because everybody else that supports their favorite sport, a lot of them know what they're talking about. Somebody that loves the NBA, man, when they get to talking about, well, you know, in 1996, you remember game such and such, da-da-da-da. I'm like, yeah, they know what they're talking about. But these casuals can't tell you what the 10-point system is. They can't tell you what the 4 criteria of judging a round is. They can't tell you why rounds are now 12 instead of 15. They can't tell you why gloves are the way they are now versus the dangers of the way they used to be, and the dangers of horsehair gloves. And if I'm saying things and you don't know yourself, it's okay. Go study. Go study. You know, Patrice X said you're going to do a live for Haney versus Norman. Oh man, you know it. You know it. We got to do it. And family, we have to get to a point where you can't be the only one teaching. People get turned off sometimes when you're on a panel and you the only one that can be right. That's not boxing. There were 2 legendary trainers. It was Eddie Futch and another one I cannot remember. But there's a legendary story that these 2 legendary trainers got into a debate in the gym because one trainer believed that, you know, you have to, and I'll probably do another live on this, just on legendary training and real training. But one trainer said, well, I want to prepare my fighter by having them fight all of these rounds, 50 rounds a day, all of these rounds. And the other trainer said, man, you don't have to do that because you're going to burn the fighter out before they fight. I can tell you this, Eddie Futch was the one that was correct. There were boxing fitness trainers, and I get into it with guys about this all the time. Sport science guys who are in the sport now are getting into it with the things that have worked for hundreds of years in the sport of boxing, and we always get into it. You can tell me about the kinetic chain and abduction and adduction and all that. You all forget that I'm a fitness coach as well. The problem is, I'm gonna have to do a live on this because I only have about 6 minutes. I get into this another day, but because I have to talk about the differences of the old knowledge of boxing and trying to replace it with new age stuff that's not working, which is why fighters are getting hurt more often. Fighters are burning out in the 6th and 7th round now because they're getting away from the foundation of things. All of the elite combat groups in the military still do what they were doing 100 years ago. They're still running their 4 miles at 4 a.m. But I get into that another day, family. I appreciate everybody that came through and rock with me. If anybody disagrees with those rounds that I called, let me know. Put it in the comments. I'll go look at it itself. But I'm done. I've proved my point. We just saw D-Man Jr. said, saying if you train for 20 rounds, 12 ain't nothing. So, and that was the debate with Eddie Futch and the other trainer. Do we have them train 20 rounds in a week? Like, do we have them train 20 rounds one day out the week? Or are we having them train 20 rounds every day? Are we having them train 20 rounds 3 times out the week? Are we burning our fighter out? Because we have to remember that when you break down the muscle, it still has to rebuild. But I'm going to get into all that another time, family. We had a great event over the weekend, an event that I honestly felt like 2 years ago we weren't going to ever see again. The way we felt over the weekend, I felt like the days of that was just over. And I'm so excited now. Boxing will never be perfect. Never. There are things that are going to happen that we're going to have to talk about. And maybe my next live, I'll talk about I don't want to say problems of the sport, but maybe hurdles. Maybe I'll call the live the hurdles we must jump over for boxing to rise again or to keep rising. Because there are some things that I saw during the buildup that is very concerning as far as Turki Al-Sheikh and Dana White's theme. These racists being treated as statesmen in the sport of boxing. People who are in charge dropping the ball. Why do you have a great talent like Teddy Atlas giving a legendary interview after the fight, and you have Max Kellerman's clearly biased doing interviews calling Teddy should have been where Max was. Imagine if Max Kellerman and Teddy was calling that fight. For them to have a UFC commentator giving blow-by-blow fight calls and making our guy, who is Max Kellerman, unfortunately, it got to the point where Andre Ward just stopped talking. Because every time Ward had something to say, Max Kellerman. And I love the fact that our celebrities, I put a short on my page. Go and watch when they had the celebrities, when they had Dave Chappelle, Wiz Khalifa, Chance the Rapper, were going crazy for Bud. Oh, man, that unity. Oh, man, family, I feel good. It made me want to keep fighting because I felt like when I did my warrior call to the family on Drew Titan's channel, I felt like maybe my call to the people was going one ear and out the other. And when I saw all of these interviews of black men going against the code again and again, I got discouraged. But damn it, that fight, what happened last weekend, that's what the hell I'm talking about, family. That's how we stand up. But look, I ain't gonna get started. Y'all know I get fired up and get started. So look, peace to the family. Salute to everybody that rock with me today. Our brother Drew Titan's about to go live. And let's go support our brother, all right? Please like, subscribe, and share. Till next time, family. Salute.